Good evening. City Attorney Ennis, is there any reportable action from the closed session?
Madam Mayor, there is no reportable action. The item was concluded. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're going to call back to order. Good evening. I would like to call our regular city council meeting back to order at, that's a little blurry, so I'm going to go 7:03. It's 2? Okay. All righty. At this time, I would like to ask Reverend Jim Seller from the Laguna Niguel Presbyterian Church to come forward for the invocation, and then we will have Cub Scout Pack 774 come forward to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. How are you doing there?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Just a little slow.
Slowly come forward.
Let's pray together. Gracious and loving God, first we pause to say thank you. Thank you for our many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you for loving us from your boundless and gracious nature. Lord God, in your scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, we would pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, for all those employed by our town, and in particular for this assembled council. I would ask that you would graciously grant to them wisdom to govern amid conflicting interests, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when, and perhaps especially when, there is honest disagreement, and personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Grant wisdom and direction so that those that call Laguna Niguel home would feel a sense of peace, security, and comfort from being well led. Bless this gathering, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. Fast healing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Cub Scout Pack 774, Color Guard Advance. Please place your right hand over your heart. Those in uniform and veterans salute. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. We're going to ask you to stay up here. We're going to come on down. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much. Was this a great job or what? This is a big troop here. One of our favorite troops. And I'd like to start out, first of all, by asking all of the parents to come stand up, because we know, what a dedication this is. You're taking your kids to other different troops meetings and all the different activities they have to do. So if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't be up here. So let's give your parents a hand. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go ahead, and if you want to say your name, your school, and your grade, and then pass it down, I'll hold this for you since you have the flag.
I'm Luke Miller, Moulton Elementary School at 5th grade.
I'm Timothy McCullough, Moulton Elementary School, 5th grade.
I'm Ivan Dominguez, School Hidden Hills, 5th grade. I am Richard. I go to Mission Massaoka and I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, I'm Connor Doss, and I go to Moulton Elementary School, and I'm in 5th grade.
I'm Gabriel Reese, and I go to Moulton Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Peyton Bartolome. I attend Moulton Elementary School, and I am in 5th grade.
I'm Christian Connolly. I'm 7 years old. I go to St. Sarah and I'm in 2nd grade.
I am Eli Miller, 1st grade. Moulton.
Hi, my name is Doya. I go to Moulton Elementary School and I am in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Koa Dempsey, and I go to Moulton Elementary School, and I am in 5th grade.
So I'm Suzanne Densley, and I'm committee chair for the PAC, but I'm actually a den leader for the 5th grade boys. And so we're getting ready to graduate 17 5th graders, and 9 years out of the PAC for me. So I'm stepping down.
Yes. Yeah, we're not.
Find something else to do.
We're not letting you go.
I know,
Sorry.
right?
My name's Chris Connolly, and I am the Cub Master of PAC 774.
I'm leaving too. We'll finish this year all together, huh? Okay, let's get you. Let's see if we can get 2 rows. You guys want to come up in front? We'll do 2 rows. How's that? There we go. All right. Nice looking orange ties, yellow ties. All right. Yeah. We got to make sure. We got to get your face up there, so you need to get up there. Okay. All righty. Just a few. You're over it, aren't you? Just do it.
Color guard dismissed and march out.
All right, let's do it.
Very good.
Was I not supposed to?
Nice job.
I know, right?
Thank you very much. All right, this next presentation is very bittersweet. Make me want to cry. Our first presentation this evening is to Sergeant Jack Saunders in recognition of his service with the City of Laguna Niguel. At this time, I would like to ask Chief of Police Service McDaniel and Sergeant Saunders to come forward for this presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. So I have the good fortune of being the chief here in the city, and Jack has been my right-hand man for the past 2 years. Like the mayor said, this is a bittersweet night for us. After months of begging him not to do this, he's going to go through with his retirement. Jack is a huge part of this city. Every deputy that currently works in this city was brought here by Jack, or Jack had something to do with bringing him here, or her. That's a huge part of building a team that I consider excellent, and that's all Jack. Jack is a relationship builder. We have a great relationship with city leadership, the city teams, everyone in the city. Jack's friends with the 7-Eleven owner, the trophy store owner, the federal building people. Jack is a relationship builder, but he's not just a relationship builder. He follows up on those relationships. He's always going out the door to a meeting with the rabbi, a meeting with the religious leader. Every day is something like that. As Jack and I get older, we talk a lot about retirement. And one thing we really want for our people is you leave with good health, you leave with your mental health intact, and you leave with your family intact, which is the most important thing. Tonight joining him is his wife, Diana, his daughter Julianne, his son-in-law Matt, his granddaughter Mason, and his grandson JT Jordan, who hung in there tonight after a battle with a little bit of a vomiting issue, but we're good now. We're totally fine. Totally fine. Jack, I'm going to miss you. You've been a tremendous asset to us, to our team. You've built our team from the ground up. I can't say it enough. I'm so happy for you and your retirement. Happy to spend time with your grandkids, more time at Disneyland, and I'm excited for whatever your next chapter is. So with that, I'll give it to the mayor to present your plaque to you.
I'm going to read just a little bit about the history of Jack, and then I know that we all have some personal things we'd like to say. Sergeant Jack Saunders has selflessly served the citizens of Orange County for over 30 years. He has patrolled numerous communities, including Aliso Viejo, Mission Viejo, Rancho Santa Margarita, and the unincorporated areas of the county. Sergeant Saunders joined Laguna Niguel Police Services in October of 2013 and has served the citizens of Laguna Niguel in the administrative sergeant role for over 6 years. In this role, he has helped to build an excellent team and forge important relationships with community groups, citizens, religious leaders, and Capistrano School District and city employees. He has been selfless in his service to our citizens, spending numerous holidays, evenings, and weekends in our city to help ensure the safety and security of our community. Sergeant Saunders has become an icon in the city, and we will surely miss his great personality, enthusiasm, and overall ability to get things done. We honor Jack. We thank him for all he has done for Laguna Niguel, and we wish him all the best in retirement. And I have to tell you, Lisa, I came in 2012, and then you came in 2013. And first of all, this is a man that makes you smile every day. This is a man that makes you feel protected. This is a godly man that has shared that with us. And to me, you couldn't ask for a better person. He plays Elf on the Shelf during the holidays. If you haven't seen him dressed up as an elf, it is a sight to see. He has no shame when it comes to making people smile and laugh. But I mean, I can't tell you, it really is bittersweet. We're so grateful to have you. Thank you for blessing my life and blessing the city.
Really, no one looks better in tights than Jack. Just because you're gone doesn't mean that I'm going to do that, by the way, so unless there's money involved. I have said thank you to Jack for the many, many things you've done, but I want to make sure that I tell you something I really mean. You have been a moving force for connecting our police services with our youth. And Councilwoman Genoway and I have been on the youth committee for a long time, and I really view you as that critical piece of connection where we had youth that didn't really want to be around our police. We tried to do an event with them, and it didn't go well. And somebody like Jack walked into that role, and it just flourished. And now they crave that, and it's a great experience. And that says everything about your personality and everything about your commitment to service, brother. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you again. It's just a great time.
See if I can get through this without any tears. I'll just have to think of you in the elf costume. But Jack, I really want to tell you and to tell your family that you have made a lasting impact on the youth in our community. You reach out to so many different people, but when I came on city council and we started the junior civic workshop, and the middle school students were asked who was afraid of an officer in uniform, and it shocked me that all of the kids raised their hand here in a city like Laguna Niguel. So we worked with the deputies, we worked with you. You have been a presence at the Junior Civic Workshop, you've been a presence with our high school students, and now they all know you. They know that they can interact in a positive way, that our deputies are people just like them, and that is so important for that base of communication. So you have really nurtured in the youth in our community the relationship, the positive relationship with law enforcement, and that's going to continue on in their lives. So you have made an impact, and that is your legacy that'll continue on into the next generation. So with my heartfelt gratitude, thank you so much.
Jack, I'm speechless. I've served the city for the past 23 years. You're the best law enforcement officer that we've ever had. the sense of communications, the sense of being humble, the sense that you connect the people to the city has been tremendous, has been great. I truly appreciate what you've done for our city. I'm pretty sure that we're going to miss you a lot. So thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Can you say something? Thank you for everybody attending tonight. I couldn't do this without support of my wife. Been married for 31 years. She's always been there. When I first went into the Marines, one thing I learned was that leadership isn't about you. Leadership is about everybody else. And so when I was asked to take this job, I came over and I made it my own, and I treated people the way I would expect to be treated. So thank you, and it's been 6 years. It's been fun years, and now it's a new chapter of my life, so thank you very much.
All our law enforcement. We'll do a picture as well then. So let's get family up first. Dressed up, come on. We can go in front.
Oh, this is a big group, you know what I mean?
I want you to know as well that with Pizza with the Police, that we received the Association of California Hub Award. I think it was last year or the year before. So that was quite inspirational. That's right. 2018? Great. All righty. Where'd my, I had my, here we go. Thank you. All right, our next presentation this evening is by the Orange County Business Council in recognition of the Concierge Service Program. In late 2019, the Community Development Department received a Turning Red Tape into Red Carpet Award from the Orange County Business Council for a successful, well-received concierge service program. At this time, I would like to ask Connor Medina, Government Affairs Specialist with the Orange County Business Council. You're ready here to give the presentation. Thanks. Nope, you're good.
Good evening, Mayor Davies, Mayor Pro Tem Minigar, and the Honorable City Council. My name is Connor Medina, and I'm the Government Affairs Specialist for Orange County Business Council. Each year, OCBC hosts the Turning Red Tape into Red Carpet Awards, a showcase of the tremendous good work being done in Orange County by local government. Too often, the phenomenal work cities do in serving their community goes unnoticed. On November 20th, 2019, it was OCBC's honor to recognize the City of Laguna Niguel's Concierge Services Program with the Business Retention and Expansion Award. In May of 2018, the city partnered with the Laguna Niguel Chamber of Commerce and local businesses to develop the Concierge Services Program, which provides enhanced customer service and streamlined processing for prospective business owners. Since implementation, new business applications have nearly doubled. Applicants can utilize detailed information about city demographics so that they can discover the best possible location for their new business. Starting a new business in Laguna Niguel has never been easier thanks to the Concierge Services Program. And with that, it is Orange County Business Council's pleasure to recognize the City of Laguna Niguel's visionary leaders and exceptional staff for these accomplishments. Thank you and congratulations.
I'd like to have staff come up here too. Jonathan, that'd be great. Am I missing anyone else to come on up here? Pardon? Yeah, of course. Tammy, Justin. You're all part of this, but this is great. This is our first award from them, so we really appreciate it. And hopefully many, many more. All right, this is really important. Our last presentation this evening is the outgoing commissions and committee members for their service. At this time, I'd like to have the following individuals come forward for the presentation. All right, we have Muriel Gert Ferrell, Bill Kelly, who's not here, but I want to make sure that his name's out there. Dennis Mulvaney, not present, but Dennis did a great job. Mark Stensby, Dr. Agatha Glasgow, Marilyn McCluskey, Derek Bartoloma, James Carbone, William Lieber, Paul Anderson, and Mike Perorian. And just to give you an idea a little bit about the commissions that we have, it's definitely a commitment that people take on. This is their part in the city to listen to the public, to put safety first, and to make decisions and guide us as a city council. So we thank you very much for all that you do here. It's very important, and obviously we hope that maybe you'll apply for other commissions as they come up, right?
Definitely.
Very good. Let's give everyone a hand here. That is it. All right, thank you. Bear with me, I'm getting over that cold. All right, that concludes our presentation, so we'll now return to the dais. Okay, we're up here. Public communications. Any person wishing to address the city council will need to complete and present a gold-colored request speak form to city clerk. These forms are available on the counter that is located near the chamber doors up above. Please be aware that the time limit will be 3 minutes for each person. To allow equal time for speakers, minutes may not be given to another speaker. You may have another person read your written statement. City Clerk Gomez, are there any more request speak forms?
No, Mayor.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and call on Ross Chun. If you'd like to make your way on up, state your name and your address.
Good evening, Mayor Davies, Mayor Pro Tem Minigar, and council members.
And if I may, this is a former mayor of Aliso Viejo and council member.
Thank you.
Ross
Honorable, that's right.
I am Ross Chun from the city of Aliso Viejo. My address is 27 Sequoia Drive, Aliso Viejo. And I want to thank you for giving us a few minutes to speak. I'm here with a couple of terrific students from Aliso Niguel High School. And I'd like to bring them up and introduce them. They are from an environmental club at the high school called Eco Fricos. And so we have the president, Adele Giovanello, and the vice president, Brian Kim. And they're just going to give you a brief update on a project that they've embarked on with Molten Niguel Water District.
Hello, my name is Brian Kim, and I am the secretary of the Eco Fricos at Aliso Niguel, and accompanying me, Adele Giovanello. Our mission is to reduce our carbon footprint of Aliso Niguel High School as a whole, and our current membership is at 40 members. And our goal is to impact both the city of Laguna Niguel and Aliso Viejo.
So with this impact, we decided why not install water stations for the promotion of reusable water bottles. So with this goal, we decided to go up to Molten Niguel Water District, and we requested a grant of $7,500 for at least one installation, with the hopes they would consider 3 at our high school. And so far, the meeting went well, and we just got an update from our principal that it will now be $4,000 for each station, and we will have a meeting with Mr. Solorio, the president of the district, along with our high school principal, to discuss the finances of this possible installation. So we'd just like to thank you for this opportunity, for our ability to share this project with you.
Well, first of all, keep up the great work. This is fantastic, and I have a feeling that this is going to become bigger and bigger.
You.
Did you have something you want to say?
Actually, do you guys have the little flips packets? Yes, correct. If you flip to the third to last page of your packets, you will see a map of our campus with a little key in the corner to show our successful fountain, which is the one where there's overcrowding, and currently there's so many people there that I even have a quote from one of our students saying that they don't have time to get their water bottles filled, and there's only so much time in between classes. So our request to the Molten Niguel Water District was to get more fountains at the highlighted stations.
And what did they say?
And we are currently awaiting approval.
Well, if I need to give them a call, we can always, see what we can support. So I think
I may see one later. I have this feeling. So.
He might be married to one.
Yeah, I might be married to one. So.
He's actually got more clout than I do.
I don't know about that.
Well, that's great, and you know what? Keep us updated. Let us know where we can help as well. We greatly appreciate it. And again, you know what? Congratulations. That's incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for
very
hosting
much.
us.
Thank you. Good job.
Now I see has Jack left already? Okay, because right here we've got one I could have called Russell Lang, because this is in regards for Jack, correct? Correct. That's all right. So we better bring Jack back into the room. How you doing, Russ?
I'm good.
Great.
Thanks.
Russ, if you want to give us your name and your address.
Sure. Thanks for seeing me and Mayor Davies and the rest of the city council. My name is Russell Lang.
And I'm going to wait till we see, hopefully, Jack comes
Sure.
in.
He knows where I live anyway, probably. No. Anyway, I live at 30531 Abington Court here in Laguna Niguel. I've been a citizen for 26 plus years, and I really just wanted to thank Jack for being our sergeant. As a person out just on the street, he was very approachable and very friendly, and I saw that every time I had contact with him or just even saw him off in the distance. Secondly, I also got to see him under pressure as a member of the Laguna Niguel Auxiliary Communications Services. I got to see him as incident commander during the parade, which was extremely stressful, and he was still very fair, direct and to the point, and when you had a question, he always listened, but he also always gave his opinion, and it was always very good advice to follow his opinion. Anyways, the only other thing that I can remember about him is that he's very serious about what he did. I can remember one day in the Citizens Academy, I was part of Class 18, where he wanted to make sure that we knew about drunk driving, and we wore the beer goggles, and we were able to test his eyes to see what it looked like if you were really drunk. Anyway, but he was very serious about that, and a great role model for all the citizens of Laguna Niguel, and the city will really miss him. Anyway,
Russ,
you for
thank you,
your time.
and the good thing is he can watch us on TV. But when you go out there, just tell him you were telling him all his secrets, and he'll have no idea. Thank you very much, Russ. Appreciate it. All right, our next speaker is May Love. If you'd like to please come up. Good seeing you, May, and your name and your address. Thank you so much.
May Love, 23022 Mara Lester Road up in Monarch Summit. And I guess you know why I'm here tonight. Last month, I went to a meeting of the Historical Society where they had a discussion about our new development. And I asked one of the developers why they had to demolish the library. And they said, well, they want to put a few shops along the way. And I couldn't believe that we would trade our beautiful, viable, working library for a bunch of shops. And a lot of people that I talk to in my neighborhood, wherever I go, most people don't even know about the development. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm just thinking that maybe trading a library for a bunch of shops just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe we need to hire another developer with more ingenuity and imagination, one that maybe can work the library incorporated into the new town center we're all dreaming of. So I hope that can happen. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. And I'm going to have our city manager connect with you, and she'll be able to fill you in, because I think all those things you're hoping for are going to happen. Thank you very much. All right, at this time, are there any more public comments? We're going to go ahead and we'll close that then. We're going to now move on to the consent calendar. We have items 1 through 14. Would anyone like to pull any of the items?
Mayor Davies, I need to abstain on the warrant register of February 18th on page 5 of 21, vendor 1220 for Dell Marketing.
Okay. Mayor Protem?
Just item 6.
Councilmember Jennings? None. Okay, and Councilmember Raines? All right. Do I have a motion to move the remaining?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. And again, that's with the abstention from Councilmember Genoway. And let's go ahead and we're going to pull item 6. Mayor Protem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have one quick question for Jonathan, and that's in reference to, I reviewed your report. I'm just wondering that why are we selecting 7 consultants to do a specific task and then another 7 to do something else? Why not 3 or 4? Because it's going to be creating more, how can I say, more paperwork and more management on behalf of the city. And the purpose of contracting out is to simplify the workload at the same time to make sure that all the needed services for the citizens of this city are done in a fashion that would be the right way to do.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. To the Mayor Pro Tem's question, the on-call slate that was selected was in response to a variety of needs of the department. We are very excited at the response that we received. These are all highly qualified firms. Execution of the initial contracts will require very little work on staff's part. We have a standard contract that the consultants have already agreed to. In terms of the actual utilization of the consultants, there are a number of specialized projects that we'll be undertaking, and a number of these firms have those the specialization in those areas. We have firms that are going to serve as an extension of staff on a more daily basis. We have firms that will handle, for example, EIRs prepared as part of some of our larger projects. We have firms that will be looking into, for example, development of our VMT regulations. And we wanted to make sure that we cover all of those bases. So basically, I think the simplest way to say it is this gives us a very deep bench. It will actually not add significantly to the oversight or paperwork at all, and it will ensure that over the span of those contracts over 5 years, that we have everything we need to accomplish the goals of this council and this community. So we're very excited with what we have. We anticipate utilizing all of these consultants in some capacity, though we are not necessarily required to. So it will be on an as-needed basis that we will utilize these consultants.
Just a quick follow-up question. You're going to set up a rotational basis?
Not necessarily. There are certain firms that, again, we will be bringing on to serve our daily needs. And to the extent that special needs beyond that arise, we will be utilizing the firms that are best suited for those particular items.
Okay, thank you.
Move.
I make a motion to move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to discussion items. Our next item, discussion one, is the fiscal year 2019-20 mid-year operating and capital improvement program budget review. City Manager Letourneau, please provide a staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. It's my pleasure to present the mid-year budget report for fiscal year 19-20 to you this evening, and I'm very happy to let you know I have great news to share. So, next slide, please. So with regard to revenues, and specifically the general fund, revenues in the general fund are projected to be approximately $251,000 more than the adopted budget, and that's primarily due to an increase in property tax revenue because of increased assessed valuations. The gas tax fund, we're expecting an increase of approximately $126,000 from the adopted budget, and that is based on the actual revenues received and an update that we received in January from the State Department of Finance. Measure M, Senior Transportation, and the Senior Law Enforcement Services funds are all expected to meet budget projections. With regard to expenditures, the operating and capital expenditures are expected to be equal to or below the adopted budget, and thus we're not requesting any changes to the budget at this time. And now I'm going to turn over the presentation to Public Works Director Scott to provide you with an update on our capital improvement projects.
Thank you, City Manager Letourneau, Honorable Mayor, and members of the City Council. I'm excited to present a status update of the 5-year capital improvement program that was adopted in the city's fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. There are 43 active projects currently being worked on by Public Works Department, all in various states of completion. Since we met on July 23rd of 2019 for the CIP workshop, 6 of the projects have been completed. The most high profile, of course, is the Crown Valley Park Tier 3 community building. The building is very, very close to being finished with touch-up painting, door hardware installation, furniture installation, and staff workstations being set up over the next 2 weeks. The City Parks and Recreation team will then be moving into their offices during the month of March, while punch list work is ongoing through the month of April, all leading up to the grand opening scheduled on May 2nd. Also planned at Crown Valley Park prior to May 2nd is a parking lot slurry seal, installation of wayfinding signage, construction of a new 120-stall temporary parking lot, park-wide repainting, new picnic tables, trash cans, and trail rehabilitation work that will be taking place all throughout the month of April. There are currently 12 projects in the construction phase. The Alicia Parkway resurfacing from Highlands Avenue to Pacific Park project remains on schedule for completion in March. At the same time, construction will initiate on the new bus shelters along Crown Valley Parkway. With this evening's action to award a construction contract, it is anticipated the work will commence in approximately 10 to 12 weeks and be completed by this fall. The city also has 4 annual street and signal maintenance program projects under construction and 6 park renovation projects located at Chaparosa, La Plata, Marina Hills, and Crown Valley Park. Public Works currently has 4 projects advertising for construction bids, 3 roadway improvement projects, and the restroom renovations at the Sea Country and Community Center. It is anticipated that all 4 of these projects will start construction over the summer and be completed at various times throughout the fall. There are 8 projects currently in the design phase, which includes 6 roadway improvement projects. Nagale Road has 2 resurfacing projects that were combined into one design and will be bid as one contract. This combined project will be ready to be advertised for bids over the summer, with construction anticipated to start late fall or the winter of 2020. The residential slurry seal of Zone 1 will be ready for bidding and construction this summer. A 7-year program for residential slurry seal will be included as part of the budget adoption in June, which will set a predictable maintenance schedule for the neighborhood streets for many years into the future. There are 9 projects in the planning phase with various schedules to enter the design phase or construction phase into the 2021 calendar year. That concludes my brief update on the 43 active capital improvement projects managed by the Public Works Department. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Council members? Councilmember Raines?
Yeah, I just want to ask a real quick question. The bus shelters on Crown Valley, I thought we had discussed that those would be done at the same time as the grand opening of the, is there something that's changed?
Councilmember Raines, earlier this year, we put out to bid the entire citywide bus shelter replacement project. Unfortunately, the bids came back significantly higher than the funds we had available. So in the process of rejecting those bids, breaking out the project into multiple phases, rebidding the contract, caused some delay to the overall start of the project. So this is the new schedule for completion.
Councilmember Jennings?
Only a couple of comments, really no questions. One, it's amazing. Mid-year budget review doesn't usually go that smooth, so we usually have a lot of things that we're guessing, for lack of a better word, at the time that we do the budgeting, because we're not sure what the economy's going to do or what incomes are going to do or how our expenses are going to flow. And I'm glad to say that that process, which was very thorough last year and is becoming even more thorough this year, is getting it very right. I mean, to not have to do any changes on expenditures is big, and I'm very pleased also that our income is in a very positive state. With respect to the CIP projects, what a beautiful city we live in, an amazing time to live here. We are very mindful that these cost money. We have set aside all of the money for these projects, and we don't begin them unless we have that money. So we are remaining in zero debt, even though we're continuing to build. And we continue to boost our reserves and to do the right thing. I was noting we approved it already, but there was there's a chart at the back of item number 12 in the agenda, which shows our capital reserves year over year since 2010 to 2019, and we are well in excess of our required fund balance. And as I said before, in some years you spend, and in some years you save. This was one of those years that we were spending because we have a beautiful new building coming online at Crown Valley Park, and I'm very pleased that the city manager's indicated her intent to go into what I might call maintenance mode and start taking care of the things that we already have. That's, I guess, as opposed to building mode, perhaps, but anyway, I think it's a very prudent thing to do, and I'm glad to see that at mid-year we are a shining example of exactly how to get this done right. I only wish that we could export some of that to Sacramento and let them breathe the sigh of relief that we get at mid-year like this. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Councilmember Genoway?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this is great news. We have an increase in revenues and no increases in our expenses. Unfortunately, for many other cities in the state, it's the reverse of that. So again, this is the prudent fiscal management of the City Council over many years, because we have had the policy since the beginning of this city that when we are going to do a capital improvement project, we pay for it in cash and we save the money ahead of time. And the chart that Councilmember Jennings was referring to illustrates that, how we have kept our reserves above where they should be. So, which is great news for our residents. And it's also a testament to the excellence of the budget workshop that we had, that I think we got it spot on, or staff got it spot on with their forecast of the numbers of what we would be spending. So we are still providing assets and services and resources for our residents and saving money, and I am just delighted to have that little extra cushion of the excess revenue, because we all know in the different regional and state meetings that we go to that there will be some things coming down the line that we will have to find the funding for. Now we've kind of have a head start on that. So thank you for the good report and your
Mayor
work
Pro
that
Tem
went
Miniger?
into it.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Miniger.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just two comments and one question. And also, I wanted to echo what my colleague said. I'm very pleased with what we budgeted by last year for 2019-2020. It was 57,890,000, and with the revised budget, the number is extremely close, 58 million plus $268,000. So that shows that the city staff, under the city manager's leadership, has done a very good job. My quick question is in reference to Measure M2 funding. I know that we get a fair share. It's based on the population matrix of Orange County and a lot of other factors. Do you know roughly how much we may be?
Not off the top of my head. I can get back to you about that.
Okay, I would appreciate.
Our interim finance director had the flu this evening. So
Okay,
he wasn't
I
able
was
to be
hoping
here,
that
so
he
I'm
would be
sorry
here
about that.
to
I'm
ask
pinch
you that
hitting, and I
question.
don't have that answer.
Okay, no problem. And my next question and final question is for our Director of Public Works, that we had a telephone conference call this afternoon, and I just wanted to make sure that on Alicia Parkway, by the way, the contractor has been doing a good job, because I inspect it every day, and I want to make sure that the traffic control plans are done according to the code, so no private citizen can complain about it. And anything that they do is up to par with the best and the latest technologies and the state of the practice. So far, everything is excellent. In a month from now, we're going to be done with the rehab project on Alicia Parkway between Highlands all the way to Pacific Drive. My question is, I want to make sure that once the construction is completed with regard to resurfacing, once the consultant comes back to synchronize all the signals, I have asked you this before, this is for all the residents, the citizens of this great city, that we are going to be achieving visual progression, meaning that when someone would be traversing, let's say from Crown Valley Parkway, after they pass the first segment, they get into the second segment, which is beginning of Highlands, they can see visual progression, meaning that all the green signals would be shown at the time based on the prevailing posted speed limit, not just to minimize, reduce the overall delay. We are looking for visual progression, which everyone would love to see, a new roadway after spending all that money for resurfacing and all the ADA ramps that have been upgraded, then the signal timing would be the best for the people, that they can get to their destination in a much efficient manner.
Thank you for your question, Mayor Pro Tem Miniger. Alicia Parkway is a very important arterial in our city. I drive it multiple times a day, as do many of the staff, and I will be visually checking that progression myself, but also working with the consultant to make sure that it is timed to the most efficient travel progression through the entire segment through the city.
Very good. Thank you very much.
We might have to get you one of those yellow vests if you're going to be down there just for safety. But I appreciate you looking over that. Thank you so much for this report. It really is great news, and there is a chart there that perhaps we can put that out on Facebook so people know what we're talking about. It's the fund balance, and so you have an understanding. You need to have 50% of your operating balance is what you have to have. It's required. We have double that, so that's great to know. And I also want people to realize it's something that we received once again, and this is 19 years in a row. It's a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. It was presented to Laguna Niguel, California. This is from June 30th, 2018, because we go back. We're hoping that we're going to get the 19th, but this is our 19th year in a row I was receiving this, and this award isn't easy to get. So I say thank you very much. We're very proud to be able to have this, and thank you for a great job. Again, you know what, we've had our CIP projects, the largest one, this Tier 3, 1, 2, and 3, largest CIP we've had since we've been incorporated. We go back, we paid cash for that. We're going back to the savings mode and maintenance mode. So if anything, these numbers on this chart will probably continue to go up. So I'm greatly appreciated. Good job with everyone. Thank you very much. Okay, and that is that file and receive?
We actually need you to adopt the resolution.
Okay. Get back here.
Adoption of Resolution 2020-1311.
Okay, gotcha.
Amending the budget.
All right, staff recommends, so I'll make a motion to waive full reading, make any amendment to, and introduce ordinance number 2020-204 by title, and,
It's a resolution, not an ordinance.
okay, so just, do you want me to go all the way and read it through, or?
It's adopt resolution number 2020-1311, amending the fiscal year 2019-20 budget, and receive and file this report.
Okay, do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion moved, thank you. All right. All right, we have discussion item number 2. Director Scott?
Thank you, Mayor Davies. Joining us this evening for a short presentation of the item is our Engineering Services Manager and City Traffic Engineer, Kathy Nguyen.
Thank you, Public Works Director Scott, for the introduction. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Kathy Nguyen, and I'm the Engineering Services Manager and City Traffic Engineer. The item before you this evening is an amendment to the municipal code provisions related to the authority of the City Council, Traffic and Transportation Commission, and Traffic Engineer. Currently, all traffic control signs, devices, and striping require the approval of the Traffic and Transportation Commission and City Council prior to installation. This has resulted in a slow response rate to safety-related requests from the public. In order to provide more prompt and necessary responses to traffic safety concerns, this ordinance authorizes the city traffic engineer, under the direction of the Public Works Director, to install traffic warning signs and roadway striping improvements without needing the approval of the Traffic and Transportation Commission and City Council. Warning signs include, but are not limited to, watch downhill speed, curve warning, pedestrian crossing, stop ahead, and signal ahead. Striping modifications such as centerline striping for traffic control and edgeline striping for traffic calming would also be under the authority of the city traffic engineer. Under this ordinance, the Traffic and Transportation Commission will continue to study and make recommendations to the City Council for final approval on matters where an ordinance or resolution is specifically required by state law. Examples of such matters include permit parking, stop sign installations or removal, parking restrictions, time-limited parking, establishment of mid-block crosswalks, and new traffic signals. This ordinance also updates a section in the code for City Council to adopt by resolution the latest editions of Public Works Design and Construction Standards, including the California Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. This section was last updated in 1990. The resolution will be brought to the City Council at a future date following the adoption of this ordinance. Staff recommends that the City Council waive full reading, make any amendments to, and introduce ordinance number 20-204 and direct that the proposed ordinance, with any changes to it, be placed on the agenda for the March 3rd, 2020 City Council meeting and adopt the ordinance at that meeting. This concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. City Clerk, do we have any members of the public that have submitted a request to speak for him?
No, Mayor.
All right, we'll close that then. And council members? Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Very good, thank you. We did have a conference call talking about this. I do welcome this ordinance. It's a very critical, essential ordinance for the city. In the past, one of the reasons that some of these citizens' requests that came to the Traffic and Transportation Commission and ultimately to the City Council was delayed, it was because of the process. And as we discussed that this afternoon, according to the laws in the state of California and the federal laws, as long as the city traffic engineer would not be making a decision nor making a determination on any regulatory signs, as we discussed, like stop signs, traffic signal, installation, and a lot of other things, then it is okay. It's a very good ordinance to move forward because we are going to be serving the citizens of this city in a much like concierge type of approach. So we all need to have this kind of ordinance. So I totally advocate for this. Thank you.
Councilmember Genoway.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing this forward, and I think it's an important way that we serve our residents and not let the process get in the way of or making things take longer. Because I concur with Mayor Pro Tem Minigar, and thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Councilmember Jennings?
Yeah, one of the truisms of Laguna Niguel is our residents love to tell us about their traffic issues, and we really appreciate it. And I want to make sure that we're responsive to that. We've made a real commitment as a council and as a city government to do that. And when we find inefficiencies, we address them straight on and fix it. And I think this is a great idea. I frankly didn't know it was needed, but now that it's been brought up, I think it's a perfect idea, and this is just one of those grand examples of how we're trying to streamline government to get out of the way and to make sure that our streets are nice and safe. So I applaud the effort, and I'm all in support of it. Thank you.
All right, I guess this is what you call cutting the red tape, and perhaps this is what we'll put up for our next project to see if we can get an award on that as well. Any other questions? All right, at that time, then I'm going to, I might as well I can go. I'll make a motion to approve item 1 and 2, introduction of ordinance number 2020-204, amending Laguna Niguel Municipal Code to alter and clarify authority of the City Council, Traffic and Transportation Commission, and Traffic Engineer, as well as 2, direct that the proposed ordinance with any changes to it be placed on the agenda for the March 3rd, 2020 City Council meeting and adopt the ordinance at the meeting. Is that plenty, or do you need me to read all the way through?
The only part of the title that you didn't read was for the regulation and installation of traffic controls and other devices and making a finding of exemption under CEQA in connection therewith.
With that modification,
With that modification, that's motion over here?
I second the
Second,
motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion moved. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to council member reports. Let's start with Councilmember Raines.
I have nothing.
Okay. Councilmember Jennings?
Great, thank you, Madam Mayor. 2 things on the agenda tonight that it makes me shine on the inside. I'm so proud that we've now gotten to where our bus shelters are finally in a position where they can be replaced. What a long journey that was. It was not expected. Right about the time we had the great idea to replace them, the bus routes started moving, and we weren't sure where they were going to be, and then we had funding, and so now then we finally got that. If you don't recall, you'll end up loving those. Don't spend a lot of time looking at the current ones because it'll draw your eye away from something special. So the new ones will be great. And I don't want to miss an opportunity to jump on this 19-year award for our CAFR, which is one of the most boring financial reports you can read if you start at the beginning and go to the end. But it's extremely important. We went through this in the Investment Banking and Audit Committee. We reviewed it there. It's a shining example of how that's supposed to work, and I have the sneaking suspicion that it's only getting better year over year, and I'm looking forward to that. So good job for everything in the city that makes that work, and everybody at this dais and in the room tonight is a participant in that. So I just wanted to say thank you very much, and congratulations to you all.
Councilmember Genoway?
Thank you, Mayor. So January 27th and 28th, I was in Sacramento along with Mayor Davies, Councilmember Raines, and Councilmember Minigar, and we were on the ACC-OC advocacy trip, meeting with our legislators in Sacramento. And I really can't stress enough the importance of your local elected officials going up to Sacramento and having these discussions and meeting face-to-face with our state legislators, because we meet with not only our legislators from our area, but also ones from other parts of the state. And it's very important for them to understand the perspective of what's going on in Orange County. So those conversations that we do have with them and that input we bring to them does make a difference for down here. So I appreciate the Association of California Cities Orange County chapter for making trips like this possible. On January 30th with Pizza with Police, again, I give a lot of credit to our police services. Thank you, Chief McDaniel, for getting all the deputies there. They had some great conversations with our teens. And thank you, Sergeant Songer, for your participation in that and getting everything going. And it was really heartwarming to see. I mean, some of those teens did not want to leave the deputy they were sitting with. They were having such in-depth conversations. So I think you might have found some future deputies there, too. February 1st was a fun day. It was the Laguna Niguel girls softball opening day. And, you know, it's great to see all the girls running around in their new uniforms and their little performances. But I really have to hand it to the parents. Thank you so much to the parents of all of these sports teams in Laguna Niguel, because without your participation, this wouldn't be possible. And it is so important for the youth of our community participating in sports and learning not only the joy of outdoor physical activity, but also teamwork. And that's a life lesson that needs to be learned. So thank you, parents, for making that possible. And I'll end it with this morning, Mayor Davies and I attended the Community Leadership Breakfast at Saddleback Church. And this was a gathering of local electeds, Sheriff Barnes, many of the deputies, many of the nonprofits working on issues in the community, and we focusing on that and how we can all collaborate together. So it was a very good and inspiring meeting, and I look forward to future meetings like that where we can see how we are going to work together for some of the issues here in South County. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Miniger.
I don't have.
No way. Oh, come on.
Can we put a gold star on the minutes for this? Or?
Okay, I'm moving on. Moving on. No. You know, just I had the pleasure of going before our senior and having lunch with the seniors, and we talked about policy. We talked about what was going on in the city, and it's amazing what a blessing they are, and you know how much they bring to the city. So I'm looking forward to going back with that. So that's great, and I'm going to move on, and we're going to start with Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next shred event is this Saturday, February 22nd, in the City Hall parking lot. It runs from 7 o'clock till 12 noon. Please, I encourage everyone not to line up before 7 o'clock. I can promise you if you're there in line after 8, you'll be in and out in less than 10 minutes. I can guarantee you that. But sometimes we get people lining up as early as 6, and there's no need for that, and it just creates havoc for us. So it'll give you one more chance to see Sergeant Songer. He'll be in the parking lot helping out that event. So it's a great event to get rid of those papers that might come back to haunt us by personal information getting stolen and things like that. So it's a great way to get rid of all those papers, and we'll see you Saturday morning. Thank you.
I'm getting rid of that 8th year of taxes and trying to make room in my closet. Deputy.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Just a quick personnel update to follow up the good news for the mid-year in the CAFR. Our new finance director will be starting next week here with the city in his role as our finance director. Looking forward very much to getting him on board, working with our team here to meet the fiscal sustainability goals that have been set in the strategic plan. And we'll be welcoming him next week to our team.
We're glad to see you're both back. I think we've all had colds, so that's great. Attorney Ennis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about our city traffic manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report this evening. Thanks.
City Clerk Gomez?
Nothing from me, Mayor. Thank you.
I know you're going to turn that on. Parks and Rec Director Allison Giglio.
Thank you, Mayor. This weekend we have our Cinderella Family Opera at Sea Country Center, Friday through Sunday. Tickets are $15 until 4 p.m. on Thursday, and then they go up to $20 after. This is a very unique opera event. It's a great introductory event for children. It's also custom made to what our patrons have asked for in a performance. So really unique, Cinderella, great story. We hope to see everybody there. And then our very popular Jurassic Trails and Tales event returns on February 28th, which is a Friday from 7 to 9 at Sea Country. Tickets are $10, and we strongly encourage pre-registration because it may sell out. Thank you very much.
Director Scott.
Thank you, Mayor. This week we received a couple of inquiries in the Public Works Department regarding the city's efforts to address the water seepage out on Paseo de Colinas. I want to give you a very brief update. We do have an under-street drainage system currently in design that's expected to be wrapped up in the May-June timeframe. And with adoption of the new fiscal year budget for 2020-2021, we'll be able to put that out for bid and get it under construction in time for the fall rainy season next year. So we do have a permanent solution currently under design, and we will get that repaired.
I want to thank you for returning the calls and the emails coming up as well. That's very important. Director Arduña.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick, this afternoon we received word from the state Department of Housing and Community Development that the city was successful in its application for SB2 grant funding. So we have secured just over $330,000 that will be earmarked for update of city planning documents as part of the city's strategic plan. So,
Great news. Thank you. And we'll finish off with City Manager Letourneau.
Yes, with our new finance director coming aboard, I just wanted to publicly thank, even though he could not be here tonight because he was sick, but our interim finance director, Richard Martinez, he comes to us from the firm E.D. Bailey, and he really stepped up and provided us with a lot of help when we needed it. So I just wanted to say thank you to him for all of his hard work and getting us through. And he's going to stay on a little bit to help us with the transition and get our new finance director up to speed.
Fantastic. Any other questions or comments? With that, we're going to adjourn at 8:05. Thank you so much for coming.